The incredible thing is that Vivint now connects you to everything in your life, from doorbells, door locks, cameras, lighting, thermostats, garage doors, data storage, and a whole lot more, all from your smartphone.
vidiq.com.
Magic Links provides tools for social commerce. So anyone on YouTube or Facebook or Twitter who has a channel can use Magic Links to earn extra income for their channel.
Are you ready?
All right. Well, I am super excited to be here. And this presentation I'm giving you today is some of my best stuff I've ever presented. For those that know me intimately and really are in my inner circle, I always do about 6-8 months, and I share with the world from there. I've never shared this strategy and what I'm going to do, these tactics to really leverage YouTube in a unique way. I've never really shared this publicly. I've only worked with my clients and to go from there. And so I'm really excited about it. A lot of the things might seem really crazy, but they're crazy awesome, okay? So who's ready for it? We ready? Okay, a little bit about me. I have been on YouTube since 2005, November 2005, when I found YouTube. Since then, my company focuses specifically on audience development, and we work with content creators and brands. We get both sides of the industry, and we do a lot of paid strategies. I have every certification you can possibly get from YouTube and from Google. I think knowledge is power, and how you leverage the knowledge is really important. That's why we have the Vid Summit. Also, if you've ever seen my different clients, I literally have 21 billion video views on YouTube that we've been able to generate. We have 14 gold play buttons. We're now doing almost 1 billion views a month between all the properties that we manage and help. We have a lot of data, and it's really interesting. Now, we're a little late to the game with Facebook, so we only have about 8 billion video views. I guarantee that's going to be about 45 to 50 billion within about 18 months. We have a really cool strategy for that. Now, with this, we have this being live streamed to everything, so if anyone would like to get more information about Vid Summit, just go to vidsummit.com. Appreciate that. So if you've ever seen this ad, I worked with the talented Harmon brothers. This is their project. I was the executive producer on this. Worked closely with Jeffrey Harmon and the team to pull off the pooping unicorn ad. And let me tell you, there's previous sessions of Vid Summit from past years you have to watch, because the Harmon brothers completely opened up and shared their strategy of how they actually do it. I actually shared the launch strategy of what we were able to do. This did $45 million in sales. I mean, it's crazy. But what we're going to do is talk today about real tactics that you can use as a content creator or a brand to leverage the algorithm. And I've been passionate about the algorithm. I like discussing it because it's something that YouTube doesn't talk a lot about. And we have a lot of data. Now, I have to put this disclosure out there, is you're getting information from the data that I have access to. And I've been known to get more complete data. Like, YouTube has literally shown me that different things that changed my perspective on the algorithm. And so, I'm only giving you what I have access to, and it could be very efficient. It has been. We've had a lot of growth. But there are additional data that we can gather from Tubular Labs and vidIQ and TubeBuddy, stuff like that. But ultimately, YouTube has all the data. And when they do share it, I definitely change my tune when I'm able to validate what they're saying. I want to talk about the YouTube algorithm. We call it the algorithm, but what's going on with YouTube is there's thousands of algorithms that are actually firing. And what happens is YouTube has a platform that does machine learning. It's trying to predict the behavior to accomplish the goals what YouTube wants to accomplish, which is we want people to come back to YouTube every day. And number two, these are really important for you to really understand. But the second thing would be we want them to have longer sessions on YouTube. We want them to spend more time on YouTube. And why do we want that? Because then we make more money the more time that they're on YouTube because of YouTube Red and ads. And so that's their goal, that's their mission. And when you get into that mindset is how can we get our audience engaged to come back and start the session on our channel is a very, very big deal. And understanding YouTube, how it operates, is a big thing. So understanding that it's a machine, and the machine needs to be told what to do. So a lot of us are getting, not safe for, advertiser stuff. I get them. I know that a few of you have got them. And what happens is you have the engineers and the teams at YouTube trying to tell the AI, hey, this is good, this is not bad. And once they start getting the rhythm down, then it's a beautiful thing. But there's some awkward periods, and that's where a lot of people have frustration, including myself. So just to go over a couple key things so that we're all on the same page. YouTube had 200 updates this last year. They had 2,000 experiments. We're going to talk about experiments in a minute. And I've given previous discussions on the algorithm. We're not going to dive deep, but you can find that content on my channel. Just Google and YouTube search me for the algorithm and watch that stuff. We're going to talk about channel clusters today. I've never publicly talked about this, and it's something that most content creators have no clue what's going on. And so what I want to do is explain how YouTube really goes to promote a channel, and how that relationship is. And once you start realizing that, and then I'm going to show you tactics to leverage it. Does that sound good? Okay. So we're going to start off. We're really slide heavy, so we need to be on the slides. We have a channel here. Whatever channel you're at, what YouTube does is they want to know what's going on in YouTube, how you relate to other channels. Now, when you start a brand new channel, they don't have any data. And the more data that we give YouTube, then it starts to pull it together. But what I'm going to explain, and the Scherer brothers tomorrow are going to explain this too, is how to get related channels to show up with you in a cluster. Now, YouTube does clusters, and they group you with other channels. And what happens is, synergistically, these channels work and grow together. And as one channel succeeds, the whole group succeeds. So what happens is when they do those 2,000 experiments, they get these clusters together and test the algorithm against that, see how it goes. They get the data and then put it out to more clusters and more clusters and more clusters until it's rolled out across all of YouTube. And so understanding how they link us together, so they link off of channels. But then two, how we grow is off of videos. So videos grow channels, and channels connect with other channels. So we have suggested traffic, how to suggest our information from YouTube. Now, this is what I haven't really discussed in a lot of detail, and I want to talk about it. How YouTube actually figures this out is they're looking geographically where you're at in the world. If you're in Poland, or you're in Australia, they're going to look close to the creators in that region. That's the first place that they look. So they'll get similar content creators around your channel that have some similar data. Now, we're not just talking subscriber data. We're talking about similar content and viewer behavior. And once they start getting it together, they start putting this cluster together. Now, what's really interesting is the last thing that's on here is sub-crossover. And I know a lot of you might say, oh, it's just a subscriber crossover is how to get related to another channel. And I'm telling you, it's not. It's one of the factors. But what YouTube's looking at is multiple factors, and it's based off of the viewer. Where the viewer is, how they're engaging on YouTube, how they're interacting with content, and what they do next. Then the next thing they look at is the channel specifically, the metadata, the content they're producing, how much content they're producing, and the type of engagement that they have. And then they're looking at the subscriber, crossover. Now, I want to share with you about this guy right here, Matthias. Now, Matthias's team is actually presenting. I'm so excited for tomorrow's session because Joey, is going to talk about thumbnail strategy. But I want to share with you what Team Edge has done. Well, I guess it's High Five Studios has done to really grow, because they understand clustering, and they know how to have that relationship be strengthened, and it strengthens all channels without really pulling subscribers one way and another and just ripping everything apart. And so they're really super smart. So they have their main channel when it started. They actually had 2 channels. Matthias had his own channel, and then him and his wife had a channel. But they decided, you know what, we're going to do Team Edge and a few other things. And they started creating these clusters of channels. Now, what it did was, and they're really smart about this, and we're going to go in detail on what they did, but they have different channels that support each other. And they created the ecosystem of having similar content, having similar audience, having similar viewing behavior. And then what they've done that I'm here to tell you is just brilliant, is how to manage the cross-promoting without robbing Peter to pay Paul. And they've been able to grow beautifully on this. Now, you look at the Paul brothers, whether you like them or not, that's the same strategy they're doing. They have, their group of friends, and they created a power cluster with different channels with similar content, similar audience, similar viewing behavior. Okay, so the interesting thing from this is where suggested videos goes nuts. So the first thing that YouTube looks at is, number one, when you upload a video, what type of related content do you have in your library? So they're looking in your library first. The second thing is they're looking at that power cluster, the channel cluster of content, and looking at those channels. Now, there are people that have exploded and literally have caught a trend. They were associated with the channel, then they got de-associated with the channel and associated with other channels. So it's one of these evolving things. As YouTube's AI gets more data on what's happening with your channel, then you kind of evolve with it. So when you got a ton of traffic from one channel, and then 6 months later, you're getting no traffic, they just pulled their channel out of your cluster and put it with a different cluster of channels, and they're kind of growing together. Does that make sense? I know that this is really, really deep, but I want to spend the bulk of my time on tactics of how to leverage this. I wanted to give you the information. So I want to give you some creative tactics to really leverage the algorithm so that it can help you with your growth. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you're a brand, it doesn't matter if you're a business, it doesn't matter if you're a content creator, it's all about visibility. And I'm here to tell you, I had a client that literally wanted to push traffic off of YouTube and send it to their website instead of building the ecosystem on YouTube. And the secret is this, guys. Their channel, they're struggling a little bit with what they're doing because they went a different direction. But if you can get YouTube to promote your channel, you're able to grow. So the Scherer brothers, they just started this year. They have 1.7 million subscribers. They're doing this right now. They're doing these strategies, and we're going to talk about them here in a second. Watch time velocity. You've probably heard me talk about this. Matt Gillian calls it view velocity. It's the same thing. YouTube has specific indicators it looks for, but I'm gonna share with you some of the things that I look for. Okay, I'm gonna teach you something that everyone should do. Now, I see my friend Peter Hollins in here. Peter, this is for you. This is your strategy here, my friend. So this is what we're looking at, is what do we do for a live stream velocity push? Now, we have live streaming abilities, and I'll be honest with you, YouTube's live streaming versus other platforms, not as good yet. But we can leverage it in a way, and I want to teach you a tactic that works. Do you want to get that? Okay. So what you do is you have a live stream, you go on, you bring your audience in. Let's say that you get 10,000 people coming in, or 1,000 people, or 100 people coming in. So the Scherer brothers, They contacted me and said, hey, we have this big video that we put a lot of attention and time into. We really want a strategy for this. I says, okay, this is what you need to do. Get a live stream. You're having a live stream. Interact with your audience. Get them hyped up. Say, we're going to release the video. And this is what you do on the live stream. You just sell it. You sell your video, and then you hit publish while you're live. And you put the link there. Say, everybody go to the live video right now. And then they end their live stream. And they do not publish it publicly. That live stream completely disappears. It was only that epic moment to gather people together. But what you do with this is where it gets really exciting, guys. I get so excited about it. You just created velocity in watch time because you took 10,000 people and immediately took them to the video. Like literally to the video, and they start consuming the content. Then what YouTube says, oh, this is higher than normal velocity, let's promote it more. Then it starts to be suggested on your own library, it got suggested out to your cluster, it goes out as browse feature, it's across the board, and it starts to go nuts. Now, one of the masters at making YouTube goes nuts is What's Inside. I'm here to tell you that if you can ever talk to Dan, you're going to learn a lot about that. But it's that velocity that's coming in all at once is really, really, really important. So when you're doing a hero video that you're spending a little bit more time, it might warrant a live video to come on and push that. Okay? This is what happened. And we're going to come to the screen itself. But they posted up this video. And immediately, it was their number one most viewed video in the shortest amount of time. And within just a few hours, it started to perform really well. Their number one video of all time was 5 months ago, and it had 12 million views. Well, this one that they just released a month ago already has 12 million views. And so the strategy worked. They said, look, our fans went nuts, we went nuts. This was the fastest velocity we've seen, and it got the most amount of views in the shortest amount of time. Now, if you can talk to these guys, they're here. Talk to them and get some further information. They're some of the smartest people I've come across of knowing the behavior of trends and how to leverage that. Okay, let's talk about suggested video sales. Now, I know that you guys are thinking, okay, wait a minute. What does this have to do with leveraging the algorithm? I did a presentation a couple years ago about a strategy. This is only exclusively here at the Vid Summit, about a strategy I created off of suggested videos to sell products. And so what we did is we had a video that got a lot of views, Scott Sterling getting hit in the face with a soccer ball. Who's seen that? Okay, yeah, pretty much everybody has seen it. Well, what we wanted to do, even after the fact, was to do two things. We wanted to create merchandise, and with this client, we tried to do it before, but it just didn't work out. So this actually happened quite a few months after the video came out. And we did a push. And what we did is we created content where Scott Sterling was in the hospital, and basically it was a sales ad selling a T-shirt. Okay, so anytime that people watch that, our goal was to have that video show up in the next up. So when they're watching the video, oh, Scott Sterling in the hospital, boom, they start watching that. And so really interesting from it, so they would go to a Teespring. We didn't even do this. So Teespring provided this all for us. And we basically had a jersey that they can go and buy, and they did all the fulfillment. We didn't have to worry about it. All we had to do is shoot the video. And that's kind of what the momentum was going into this, was we had this loop. And so what happens, people watch the video, they saw the next up, they saw, oh, Scott Sterling's in the hospital, they watched that, and then they went and bought the T-shirt. Then we're like, okay, what if we did Scott Sterling 2? What's it gonna do? Can we get the next up as selling the T-shirt as well? And we did. We literally had, if you go to the video and you watch Scott Sterling, you will see him in the hospital, and you're able to click on that, and it's a sales thing, and we've done 6 figures on that without even doing, I think our total cost for the video creation was like $6,000 because they have a huge crew. But literally, they made a lot of money off of this strategy. They've never paid ads. All it's done is related that suggested video that comes up after Scott Sterling, and they've really crushed it on that. And like literally go a couple years ago when I really went in depth on this strategy, I really talked about how to set it up, everything there. It's on vidsummit.com's membership area. Okay, this next one, increased watch time, is something that I am more concerned with views. I am obsessed with watch time. I want to increase watch time because that's the number one factor that YouTube's looking at of how to actually grow a channel. So I'm always thinking about watch time here, not views. I want to increase the watch time, and I want to give you a hack for this. So here's a channel that we own. In the watch time, this is about 28 days. So we're getting a lot of traffic, but I'm obsessed with getting the green arrow. Like I want the green arrow every time, and I want it to increase. I don't care if it's like 0.5% or 1%. I want to have that increase every time. What I'd like to do is share with a strategy of what I actually do, and it's an easy hack. Everyone can do this. Is I look at the average view duration. So the average view duration, I want to go up because that will increase more watch time, right, guys? That's what we want to do. Yeah, we can make longer videos, but we need to get people staying on the video longer. How do you do that? Make better video content. But I'm going to teach you a hack that if you don't have the best content, this will work, okay? And I'm telling you, I do this time and time again of getting this to work, even with some pitiful channels that has pitiful content, and it works because it's true. What you do is you look at your average view duration of how long are people staying on the channel. I look at that every 28 days. Actually, I do weekly, but 28 days, but I adjust it every 28 days. You don't want to monkey with this a lot. I want to see what the average is. And if we're increasing, we need to change something in YouTube. It's all set in. You guys all have access to this, okay? And what that is this, featured content. You can have this nice little banner pop up on mobile, on desktop, that says, hey, watch this video. And if we can get it like 5 seconds before the average view duration drops, you're creating a time to say, this is really valuable content for you to consume. Please watch this next video. So what you're doing is you're extending the session of someone watching your video versus somebody watching somebody else's video. So you're increasing your watch time and your session watch time from there. This is a couple things. So you got to do, like, write this down. This is really important. 5 seconds before that, and you're always adjusting that. I would do not monkey with it more than every 20 days or so. Let the ebbs and flows of YouTube happen, and just kind of adjust that. That doesn't affect anything. All it does is it just says, okay, your featured content will come up at this time. Please, this is really important. You need to check the box, optimize timing. What that does, when it optimizes the timing, YouTube says, look, I got data more than you have, and we know that this viewer actually watches more of your content, so we're not going to fire at 3 minutes, 3 minutes, 50 seconds. We're going to fire at 7 minutes. So if you don't check that box, YouTube's just going to fire at 3 minutes. And so what we want to do is extend that watch time, and you're able to do this. And I'm telling you, I have seen channels double their views just off of this, and they've also doubled the amount of watch time minutes just off of this one tactic. And so this is something that you guys can really crush it. YouTube wants you to use this. They want people to stay on longer. They want, to promote your channel, but this is what they're looking at. Isn't that a cool hack? Wasn't that awesome? And I'm telling you, I've worked with businesses, I've worked with agencies, I've worked with creators. This works across the board. You just have to know what levers to pull and to help promote your own channel. Okay, this next one is one I have never shared publicly, ever. I've used it with my clients, and this is one that I love. Okay, I have clients that have thousands of videos in their video library. Thousands. Not hundreds, thousands. And I literally wanted to create velocity to specific videos. And I'm going to tell you what I look for so you know what to actually do. And this one's a really, really interesting thing. You either have to have a lot of manpower to pull this off, or you need TubeBuddy. And I'm here to tell you, I love TubeBuddy. They're here. They support VidSummit. But this is the main reason why I love TubeBuddy. And you can go to tubebuddy.com/go. That is an affiliate link for me. But I'm going to tell you why I love this more than the affiliate. Because I really believe in this product. And it's because of this feature and other features that are here, okay? So tubebuddy.com/go. They're here. Connect with them. You can download it. It's a free app. And then, if you want the paid things, this is a paid strategy, so you'll have to have an upgrade for that. But what I do is, and this is, you got to be very strategic on this. You do not do this for every video. You do not do this for, you want to say, I want a lot of traffic to go to a specific video. And so what you're able to do with TubeBuddy is you can replace all your cards on all thousands of your videos to go to a specific video. Now, I want you to think about this for a second. If YouTube's worried about watch time and watch time velocity, what happens when all your traffic that was clicking on the first card to every video now is going to your new video? What happens to that? It is crazy what happens. Now, can I warn you? Do not do this every day. Do not do this. Just be very strategic of when you do this. And it's just like, hey, we put a lot of time, effort, and money in this video, or I really love this video. It's really engaging with my audience. This is when you use that strategy. And what you do is you can do a find and replace. You can hit an update. Let's go ahead and get that screen up again. You can hit update, and you can create a card set that's unique to your promotion, and it will literally do it. Now, the timing of this, it's really important that you do not put your first card at the same time as your featured content's coming up, because then they cross each other out. And the card they'll always take precedent. So you need to make sure that you even do it a little before that. So what I do is have it usually be like 20 seconds before that featured content comes out is when that video I want to push, that one card to do it. Now, here's the lovely thing about TubeBuddy is I can put that in there. I hit audit, go ahead and do it. And I have literally changed the card in every single video on 2,000 plus different videos in 15 minutes. And I'm here to tell you that all that traffic that was going to other videos now went to one video that created watch time velocity that made YouTube go nuts. They're like, this is higher than normal. Let's get it out to more suggested. Let's get it out to more subscribers. Let's get it out to them. And then that's when it really takes off. So be warned, only do this for, I would only personally do it maybe once a month. Even if you're doing daily content, it's like, what is your most hero video you're putting the time, energy, and money to? That's what we need to do. Or you might say, do you know what? I'm trying to impress this brand. We need to get more traffic to it. This is a great way to do that as well, okay? Isn't that a cool strategy? Like this right here, I'm telling you, I have grown channels through the roof off of this one strategy because it, like man hours wise, we're talking hundreds of thousands of hours that if you had to replace every card in all 2,000 videos or that, it'd just take forever. But with this tool, you can do it immediately. You can go to tubebuddy.com/go, and they are outside, that as well. Okay. This next item is one that I want every content creator and brand to really understand. This is something, like there's a couple things, when I'm able to go to San Bruno or different meetings and listen to the people that actually are the engineers, it's really important. So what I do is when I go to San Bruno, we have lunch, and they have just one of the most amazing cafeterias that you can ever do. I literally go look for the most geeky person that's sitting out there, and I sit by him, because generally that's the engineer that's actually making the algorithm. And we just start having food, and we start talking geek talk, and it's great. One theme that I've found in talking to all, even publicly what YouTube's talking about, is serialized content. Now, we misunderstand what they're talking about. We're thinking, oh, serial content's more like TV series type things. That's not what they're talking about. What they're talking about is a way to create video content that can catapult your channel. I've seen this time and time again. This is probably the strategy that brings the most suggested views as a traffic source than any other way is this strategy right here. And everyone can do it because this is something that really takes off. Now, a presentation I did last VidSummit, I talked about how to trigger it through browse feature to kick up. Well, I'm giving you the full complete picture now. I'm very transparent on this. So serialized content is this. You have a lot of energy, time, and money into your hero video, and that hero video is where a lot of people think. Now, what you need to do is the timing of when you release that video. I'm here to tell you, if you release a video that does not perform and you're going to release the next video, it's not going to perform very well. I don't care if it's the most amazing video that you have. You can use some of these tactics we talked about to increase the views that will do it. But if you can actually do something that YouTube loves, then it helps out. So what I like to do is create a pre-video. Now I'm saying, I know this hero video is coming out, but what can I do? What piece of content can I create that my audience would love, that would literally come together and support the hero video? What kind of content that they would just go nuts over? And if it's a higher than normal engagement, maybe we use the live strategy, or maybe we do engagement. Maybe we have a contest, a giveaway, or something to get that video to be found a little bit higher. And then what it does is it crosses over to your next upload. And then that way you know that you can have a good performing video happen before your hero video. Then the next thing that you're going to pull in is your post video. Not a lot of people look at this, but what video do you want to follow up? I found that some trends, it takes 7, 12, 14, 21 days before a video pops, or you might be able to see a video pop a little bit later. What's the post video strategy you're going to have for it? So you don't necessarily need to produce the video, but you need to have a plan for it. If this hero video really takes off and is getting velocity at a rate that's just nuts because of some trend or something that's going on, well, how are we going to follow up for that? And if you have that in there, there's a family here called the Beach House Vlogs. They actually did a treasure hunt that just went nuts. They're like, oh, this is crazy. And I says, look, we got to talk. We got to talk your post video. And we did a post video, and they went nuts. Their channel was growing like no other. And that's what we're trying to do, is create hero content and understanding the next path for a post video. And you want to strategize it so that it's in harmony with your hero video and it makes sense. The next thing that I look at is your next hero video. Like, if you can weave it together where your hero video and you have a post video that does really good, then you want to hit another hero video as quickly as you can. I would put the time, energy, and money to do this. And if you can do it, what you're doing is creating this content cluster of serialized content that YouTube's going to literally push traffic to. So any of these videos, all 3 of these videos, is going to push traffic to that 4th video. Do you realize what I just said? You've literally told YouTube where to push the traffic. You told YouTube, this is the best content for you to do it. Now, what do you need to do? You need to have similar meta information, similar title. It should be similar. You need to make sure that you have a really good description that's similar, and then your tags are related. Do not, I repeat, do not have tags that don't relate to the video of different content creators on YouTube or different topics that are just general for the channel. Be very hyper-specific on these videos are about this. Then what you're going to do is you're going to create a playlist. And in this playlist, you're going to hit that, make it a series, because it is a series. We're doing a series video. And then it's telling YouTube, hey, this is higher than normal, so when this video is shown, this should be the next up video because that's the next in the series. And then when they watch that, that's the next in the series. So you have a higher probability of owning that next up section. Okay? Does this make sense? And if we can start changing our content strategy to be more like this, you're able to really grow. Now listen, I know at the end of the day that there are some content creators that put a lot of high production value, and they're like, there's no way we can do this. How do we even do this? That's where live comes in. That's where, behind the scenes comes in. Like, let's not build like 40 different channels that's trying to build your online persona. Let's have something that connects with your audience now. And your audience is going to shift. Your audience is going to change. And what you think that your audience wants isn't necessarily what your audience wants. I had a huge content creator, over 5 million subscribers. I think there's 7 now. He come to me and he says, I'm getting burned out. And I said, well, how long do you take to produce your videos? He's like, dude, like 40, 60 hours of video. I'm like, you nuts? I go, you need to go watch what's inside doing. They're, 5, 6 hours. They're ready to upload. You got to watch what they're doing. And then 2, change your style of video. Well, my subscribers won't like that. Well, guess what? Their subscribers not only loved it, because they're like, oh, this is so great, and they're connecting on a more emotional level with them, and they just exploded. They literally exploded from there. And so that's what we're looking at, is how do we actually have everything talk together, work together, and it all comes back down with your type of content. Now, this next one, I'm really excited to talk about. It's the power cluster content strategy. So you might have collaborators. You might have your own channels that have the similar audience. What we want to do is create a content strategy that YouTube promotes. Now, I'm here to tell you, I got my start when helping the piano guys get found, and they had Devin Supertramp and Lindsey Sterling as part of their Power Cluster content strategy. And we had a private group that we talked about what we're doing, so we knew how to trend off each other a little bit. And there's a lot of synergy early on with what's happening in Utah with YouTube. And these power clusters, you don't have to own the IPs for that. You don't have to own the channels. But what you want to do is create either friends or connections, or ultimately what High Five Studios did, your own IP that you own that feed off each other. And so what we're doing here is creating a playlist strategy that most of you don't understand. And what I'm going to talk about is that content strategy that we talked about, you're doing your own content. If you can amplify it to have people within your cluster create those similar content, you're just going to basically, they're going to have a video that takes off and it's going to help your videos. It's going to just trend within itself in that power cluster. And it's one of the most amazing things that you'll ever see, because you can go from nothing to millions and millions of views. I know the Scherer brothers, they have 400 million video views since January. I mean, this works. And they're going to talk about how they do that as well. Playlist strategies. So playlist strategies are really important to understand. I've been known to say that the feature that does the most for content creators is the most underutilized. And it's playlists. Like they're like, I don't get playlists, I don't get what they do. But I want to tell you a playlist strategy that everyone in this audience should do, everyone that's watching the live stream, any content creator, because YouTube wants you to do this. This is something that YouTube wants you to do, and what you need to do is how to leverage these playlists. So the first thing is, let's go to the screen. We have the playlists that come up. There's a couple buttons that are really important. One is set for official playlist series, and another one is allow for embedding. But if you look down below is your ordering. Your ordering is really important of where you're placing your video. Now, there's different strategies for the different type of playlist strategy you're doing. So you might want your best performing video at the top that's bringing the most watch time in at the top, or you might want it around certain videos within that playlist. You might want to make smaller playlists that's official video series when we're doing content. That's very similar, because when one video takes off, they all take off. You will literally see a lift in real time when something's taking off because of the association you're putting around. Now, that's what 99.9% of the creators and brands do is there. And this is where it gets really good. Okay, you ready? So, what we want to do is the auto ad. The auto ad should be your favorite friend in the whole wide world. Now, you can auto ad off a keyword in a title, a description, or a tag. This auto ad tool, you can tell what playlist that it belongs to. So I want to say, you know what? If I use this tag, I want it in this official playlist, series playlist, and I want it to auto add it. Now, one of the things that I used to do was, hey, don't add a lot of playlists all at once. Figure out strategically how to do it. This is an easy way that YouTube puts it out there for you for that first initial push. And then if we have time, we'll talk about how to actually leverage that with manual ads as well, because you always want to be adding videos to playlists. Let me tell you why. When you create a playlist, that creates a digital ID. The only way to create a digital ID is to upload a video. So you're creating content for YouTube. The second thing that you look at is when you add a video to a playlist, you're actually creating a video ID, which you have a playlist and a video that is a new ID to a playlist. You're actually adding content to YouTube. It's really important if you want momentum going to start adding some performing videos to playlists so that they can bring that playlist up. And if you can get more playlist views, I'm here to tell you, number one, get more playlist views, you'll have more watch time. That is the secret. They have found that if people put it in a playlist and it's, they can go from there, they will watch it back to back, and your watch time, your average view duration is going to go through the roof, like through the roof. And that's what you need to do. So auto ad is really, really important. Now, who uses Collaborate one? Here we got this next thing here. Now, if we have channels that we work with, this is where it gets really interesting. And we have channels that we own. This is where it gets super interesting. Because what we can start doing is cross-promoting automatically. Automatically. Hey, dude, would you mind putting this card in there? No, we don't have to do that. We can actually start associating content with people, and they're able to add it with that when they auto-add something that can go into that joint playlist. Now, think about this for a second. If you're like Matthias that has all these different channels that's here, and you're able to upload one video and it auto-adds to playlists, like 3 or 4 different playlists and all these different channels, isn't that powerful? You created how many digital IDs that's going from there, and maybe this playlist getting more traffic that's going to push back and help the whole network? That's really, really important. So to do that, all you got to do is turn it on, and then you invite collaborators to add videos with sharing a link. That's all you got to do. Now, one thing that YouTube's going to do, and it hasn't been announced yet, is they have some really cool cross-promotion tools that will be coming out. I can't wait for them to come out because it's going to help every content creator. I know we focus in on the bad things that YouTube does, but guys, they are really busting it in so many ways to help us really get our content out there and being found. I love this. I love this because we're able to grow our own channels. Like, we own a lot of channels, and this is how we get our videos out there onto all the playlists without, like literally without manually doing it. It's just automatically going out there. And that's the important thing, is how can we automatically do things? That's why I use TubeBuddy, that's why I use vidIQ, because I want to automate the process. All I want to do is create a system for this playlist strategy. Okay, this next one is the heart strategy, the emoji heart strategy. Now, do you know that when someone leaves a comment, that you can leave them a heart? Everybody knows that, right? Well, let me tell you what it does. So YouTube's looking for engagement, and what they're wanting to do, I know a lot of people say, oh, likes and shares and embeds the engagement, but I'm telling you, this is the interesting thing, that knowing more of the algorithm and drinking, sleeping the algorithm, this is what it does, okay? It takes a viewer that took the time, think about the AI, what we're teaching it, okay? We have a viewer watching the video, they took enough time out of their schedule to leave a comment, okay? And maybe they come back the next day and watch the video again. Would that send a signal to YouTube saying, oh my gosh, this is a great engaged video, because not only did they watch it day 1, but they came back day 2. Well, how can we encourage them to come back to actually come engage with the video? That's where the heart comes in. The heart, if you do it, will notify them, Peter Hollins just loved your post. Peter Hollins just did a reply. Now think about this for a second. Sends an email out to them. The email that YouTube doesn't give you, it sends them an email, sends them a notification. And what happens was, if they go there and it's like, hey, I really just love fans like you, or a great comment or whatever, you heart it, maybe even pin it. Like, I like to pin it. This one's pinned. It has 21, thumbs ups and replies and stuff like that. That's more engagement, that they get notified, okay? And you get people coming back in that thread. So if you can get a good thread going, is to comment on it, engage with it, heart it. Please have it be someone else besides your content that you're doing. And get your super fans. Get one of the Hollins family members, if you're doing the Hollins, right? To leave that comment, and you basically start the social push, which gets everyone communicating on one thread. That's really powerful, because when they come back, they have to watch the video. They're watching the video when they're replying. And they might not be doing it. They might be on their phone, but it's playing as they're replying back. And that's sending data to YouTube to collect, to say, hey, this is going to increase your watch time minutes. So I love the heart strategy. It's great. Okay, this next one is TV series. Now, I know a lot of you might not understand what this is, but there's a thing called YouTube TV that I still don't have in southern Utah. I'm very depressed on that one. So YouTube, I know you're here. There's some people here from YouTube, and people are listening. Please bring it to Utah. We love YouTube. But I want YouTube TV. This TV series, we have a client that has been on it, and what you're able to do is create a series of videos that exclusively in a playlist that anyone has YouTube TV, it will show up. And what that does is you're getting more watch time minutes. I'm here to tell you that it's quintuple the amount of average view duration and watch time minutes on YouTube TV versus regular YouTube. So if our goal is to get watch time minutes to come up and we're getting that average view duration come up, this is something that you want to do, is to have a TV series. Now, here's the thing. A lot of your content doesn't make sense. But what YouTube does is it's still in beta. So if you have a rep, reach out to them and say, hey, we want to be on this. And that you will have a new function there that shows up on your Creator Studio that you can actually create a playlist that's exclusively for YouTube TV. And I'm here to tell you that I know that there's a lot of people that are disappointed, but this is probably one of the exciting features that I'm looking forward to, is getting onto the television because of the watch time. I mean, quintuple the amount of watch time minutes. That's just nuts. And they'll watch it back to back to back to back. Now, I have a couple channels that we are on YouTube TV, and we leverage this. Some of my, on a channel, we're talking 30 minutes, 40 minutes average view duration. Think of the watch time minutes on that. It's crazy. Okay. Translation strategies. Now, this is something that everyone can do. We're in a global market. There are people watching your content around the world. What we need to do is understand and define how we can help. Now, the first thing that you want to do is transcribe all your videos, okay? I like to use a service called Rev. I don't have an affiliate link. It's just rav.com, Victor, okay? rev.com. And it's like $1 a minute or something like that, whatever it is. It's super cheap. But the translation strategy is you have to, first off, make sure all your videos is not the auto closed caption system, but you're actually uploading a transcription file. Okay? That is really important. The next thing that you want to do is change out your meta information, where if you have a high volume of people watching your content in Brazil, I would literally go in there, and you can hit translations just in your editor and select Portuguese, and I'd select Brazil, and I'd do a title that's in Portuguese and a description in Portuguese. Now, you're not able to add tags at this time. I've requested that for a long time. You're not able to do that yet, but you have all the relevant information, and they're doing a translation off of your tags anyway to get it out there. And I'm here to tell you, by doing those two things, I was talking with some of the smartest people in YouTube, which is the McKnight family, Sean and Mindy McKnight. They have their own power cluster of channels that they're just taking off, and it's exploding. And they've spent a lot of money transcribing all their videos. And if you could see the traffic by just transcribing all their videos and uploading them, it took a lot of money to do that, but it paid off in a short amount of time for them because they got new audiences, new engagement, and their views just went nuts. Now, YouTube wants you to be localized, so I want you to think where you're at locally first, because we want to create our cluster, and then we want to start reaching out further and further and further. I did make a huge mistake, guys, and I want to share with you this mistake. I actually created a content channel that I was gearing for a worldwide market, okay? And I was gearing, in my head, I was just thinking, okay, I want to start in Saudi Arabia, India, and I want to work around the world. And so I'm really gearing up for that. And the channel took off. I mean, it went through the roof. But guess what, guys? My CPM sucked. It was really, really low. And I'm like, okay. So what I do now is focus in on a high CPM area and where my audience would be, which is in the United States, Canada, UK, Australia. And I focus in on that because they're English-speaking countries, right? And then you start branching out from there. And then your CPMs, you can get less views and make more money that way. across the board. But look at the feature. You can go in. There's some TubeBuddy tools. There's some vidIQ tools. There's some YouTube tools that tells you, hey, this amount of subscribers coming from the UK. Now, on my personal channel that I only spend 20 minutes a week, if I have 20 minutes to upload videos, we had 430,000 subscribers on. I looked at what could I do to engage my subscribers. Well, I found out that I had a high number of subscribers in India and a high number of subscribers in the UK. I changed my afternoon upload time to 7 o'clock in the morning, and I got triple the amount of engagement and views. And what happened was it started in the UK in their evening, kind of afternoonish, and worked all the way to the Pacific coast. And it just started to get more and more and more views. And I was able to double the amount of views we got just based off of changing time, knowing who my audience really is. So I hope you learned a lot. We do have a roving mic that we're going to have come up right here. We have we're only going to take a few minutes of questions. And if you're watching the live stream, put the questions in the comments. We're going to have you come up right here to the front. Run up to the front. We got it. Run. So we can, if you have a question, come right up to the front. Please state your name, where you're from, and don't make it a promotional piece. Stand right there, right over there. Don't make it a promotional piece. Just ask your question. Let it be relevant to what we're talking about. So go ahead.
Thank you so much, Daryl. This is freaking awesome.
Oh,
so,
great.
Thank you so much. Guys, round of applause for Daryl. I was wondering about card timing. Do you want to do it like just evenly spaced throughout the whole thing, or all at the end?
That's a great question. So card timing. So what I like to do is I like to figure out where's the best strategy to do it. Number one, I like to do it at 0000 is my first card coming up. That way, if somebody's coming on, there's a card for them to look at that kicks off. I know that you might say, oh, they're going to kick off and go from there, but that's where I put my first strategy. And then I do it 20 seconds before that featured time is kicking, and then I do a minute after that. So that's kind of where I gauge, but I'm always just adjusting those. And with TubeBuddy, it makes it really easy to do that. Okay, next question.
Hey, Daryl. I had a question about the clusters you were talking about. One, is there a way to identify who's in your cluster? And two, if you don't really make content very similar to other people, if you have a particularly unique niche, how do you influence someone to be in your cluster?
Yeah, great question. So the first thing to do is look at your traffic sources, and you can see where all your suggested videos are coming from. Okay. The top one should be for your own channel. What you need to do is go through pages. They do it in about 20 videos. Just roll over all of them, and you start seeing themes of what channels it's looking there. Another hack: just look at your page, your channel, and see the channels that actually show up on the site. Now, some of it might be the Paul brothers because they don't have a lot of data on your channel, but the bigger your channel, the more data that you're actually getting there, it will kind of show you who you're connected to.
Okay, appreciate it.
Yep.
Hello, my name is Austin. First of all, thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome.
So many aha moments here. I was wondering if you've noticed a way for Google to index more of your YouTube videos.
Google indexes all your videos. So as soon as you upload it, it automatically indexes. Getting it ranked is a completely different thing. There's a lady sitting in the back with the blue hat. She doesn't like people looking at her. Wave your hand, Holly. Talk to her. She'll give you strategies. I can't go through it all. She's one of the smartest people in the room, guaranteed.
Thank you.
So.
Hi, how are you? Thank you. I'm Augustine Rodriguez. I'm an actor and also actor-director, and also I do health and wellness. So I have friends that, do really well. They make 7 figures in their fields. I'll post interviews with people, and also self-development, self-growth, that kind of thing, and inspirational stuff. Is that too different in order to let's say if I make a cluster with some of my friends who do similar things?
No,
just create.
I would get with Evan Carmichael. He's about to hit 1 million subscribers, and he does inspirational videos, tapping into it. You can get into it, but you got to realize that if your data, you're a lower port of that data, it's better to start at a smaller cluster and work your way up to that bigger group. But if you can collaborate, hey, what type you're doing, and you're knowing what type of content he's putting out, and you're doing supporting content, which means that you're collaborating on a level that you haven't done before, then that's what we're talking about here.
Reach out to somebody like him?
Yeah, absolutely. I would, 100%. Great question. Okay, this line can't get any bigger. I do apologize. We just have Gary Vee, and I know a lot of people paid to come to see Gary Vee. They don't want to listen to me, so let's go ahead.
Hey, good to see you again, Daryl.
All right.
My name is Kai. So I'm a total newbie. I have nothing. Like, I'm starting from zero. And these strategies, like, how do I even begin, like, implementing some of these strategies on my first videos?
Yeah, so the first videos, what I would do is create a content strategy plan for the year. I'd look at tentpole opportunities where your content could be discovered, because it's all about discoverability. And I'd really work on getting your content found in search. And then what I would do is work on playlists, so you're auto-adding from there. And then as you're growing, go from there. But as soon as you look at the real-time analytics and you see that something's getting a lot of traffic, I would create that serialized content strategy where you're able to pull it in and make similar content, and your channel will start exploding.
Got it. So going live right now is not to go live to get the velocity strategy that you talked about?
It might help a little bit, but until you start
really
getting a lot of people coming on live, it doesn't make sense.
Awesome.
Okay.
Thank you.
Great. Okay, we got to be really quick with these questions because I know a lot of people want to hear Gary. So
respect. I'm asking this question.
You got the coolest hair in the room. Like look at this. It's like the coolest hair.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
My pleasure. Listen, I'm asking this question as an aspiring entertainment artist as well as a certified YouTuber.
Yeah.
What's the difference between a Vivo and a YouTube channel, and do you get paid from Vivo?
Peter Hollins, raise your hand. Any musician here, you talk to him, he will give you the whole rundown. He actually has training. I don't know when it's available, but like talk to him. He'll give you the best answers. He'll walk circles around me. So.
And I like your shirt too.
All right, thank you.
Hey Daryl, my name is Shane from Houston, Texas. I run a YouTube channel where we have multiple people giving me videos that I upload.
Yeah.
Power Cluster.
Yeah.
What can those content providers do to leverage the main hub of the cluster?
It can get really confusing if they're different type of content for your audience, so they don't engage with every video. That's the harm that you're doing if you're uploading all to one channel. But if you have specific channels that are very hyper specific for a subscriber, then you're good. So, okay, 2 questions left.
Hi, my question is about translations. My fans do translations on my channel. Should I focus on doing my own translations through the website you talked about, or should I have them do it?
No, the more you can get the community in there, the better. And so just make sure that if they're spending a lot of time translating all your content in Russian or whatever, reach out to them, give them a swag bag, engage with them on a level to just keep it up. That's great.
Do you think paid would be more high quality translations?
I don't think it matters. I think if they can get the closed captioning to do it, you can do the high quality on the title.
Okay, thank you.
All right, last question.
Hi, Daryl.
Hi.
I'm Granny Potty Mouth.
Potty Mouth?
Granny Potty Mouth, and I am the recipient of YouTube's Golden Shower $signs.
Oh, man. Okay. I don't even want to go there.
I love the heart, and I want to know if you have any idea when we can get that on the mobile app.
Okay, I don't. Timelines in YouTube never coincide, so you never know. It could come out tomorrow or whatever. But
it's so important to engage those comments immediately.
Trust me, I know.
Okay. Will you tell them that
they're watching this right now, so.
YouTube, we want the golden. We want the heart on the mobile app.
Okay. All right, guys, let's settle down a little bit real quick. Settle down. Listen, I just want to end with this. I truly believe that we can change the world by understanding how to leverage YouTube. We want to look at YouTube as a promotional engine for our content, but you also want to have other platforms to do it. So think of platform-specific content and really, having your strategy behind that. Now, I am here literally today, tomorrow, and Friday, and I'm going to answer your questions. I know there's a lot of you wanted to answer questions, but seriously, just sit down with me. I'll give you some moments of my time. It's really important to me to share and answer your questions. And those that are on the live stream, you got this for free. We want you to go to vidsummit.com, buy that virtual ticket, and get those replays so that you have access to go through all the replays as long as you want, as much as you want, for a very low price. So, guys, thank you so much for coming. And we're going to take a quick break, get settled, and we'll have Gary Vee come out. Ready? Yeah!